Okay, it's 2:30. Where are you? Okay. I'm just going to wait a minute and see if Facebook will be pulling people in here, and then we will begin. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're going to get started. Um, First off, I wanted to brag on my new apron. This is one my friend Mary helped me make. Hey, Carol. Yeah, she helped me make this a week ago. I guess it was about a week ago. Um, I really like it. It's very comfortable. It's a lot larger than the apron that I had before, which was really too small for me. But my friend had embroidered uh, my logo in there, so I wore that for a really long time. But I was kind of wanting something that crossed over in the back, and this one has pockets. And I will. Hey, Deb. All right, I will show you. I will demonstrate my apron here. It's got pockets down here, and it has crisscross ties on the back. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's pretty roomy. Uh, right here is a little, I don't know, it's a little puckery sometimes, um, but I really like it. I like the material, the fabric a lot. And, being that I have such large amount of real estate here, it's kind of hard to get something with good coverage that doesn't pucker or bind or whatever. So I'm pretty happy with it. I may make another one, um, and maybe tweak it a little bit different with sizing. That's the other part is really hard. It's hard to tell, um, when you're making something like this, what size it's really going to turn out to be. And but anyway, I'm happy with it. So today we're going to be doing something different. It's new to me. I've been playing with the sealing wax stamps for a couple of weeks now. I discovered that my grandson is absolutely enthralled with this, and I guess maybe part of it's because it's playing with fire. And this is very manageable, and I don't know, it's something that really got his attention. So I bought him a bunch of supplies. I bought way more stuff than I should have because I really don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but it has its uses, and it's just kind of fun. So I'm going to show you um, some of the things that I've been making in the last week or so, and some of my purchases that I kind of went nuts doing. It's like, oh, I got to have that one, or it's just one thing always leads to another. It's always the way it goes, and that's why I said this is another rabbit hole that we're going down. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and you can view some of the things that I've been doing, and I will explain as we go. This is a little bit different than the sealing wax that I remember as a teenager. This seems more, I don't know, more waxy, if you will. Uh, it seemed like the sealing wax was much stiffer, but it could it could be my brain that's much stiffer. I don't know. But there's so many different sealing wax stamps that are available that it's just really hard to choose. If you can only pick a few, um, you know, I'm going to use Max as my excuse for buying more. But honestly, if you have kids or grandkids uh, that are old enough to manage this, it's great fun. And you can get stamps that are personalized, You can have initial stamps if you wanted. I think a good use for these is invitations. That's probably the biggest. Invitations for weddings and showers and things like that. Also, on gift tags, you can put seals on those to kind of uh, liven them up a little bit. I don't know. To me, it was just, I saw a couple of YouTube videos and I was pretty mesmerized by the whole thing. And it brought back some fun memories of being in high school when we used to play with some of that stuff. So, if you are around my age, you might have something like that still uh, it, around in your supplies or whatever. But mine are long gone. So, I get to play all over again. So, all right. There are a few things. I'm going to put the camera down again because it's probably easier to explain it that way. Come over here. It's kind of a messy craft, but not too bad. Um, let's see. Get in the frame here. Not all of the stamps come with a handle, and you don't necessarily have to have a handle for each stamp. I've bought quite a few that don't come that way, just with handles, but these unscrew so you can put a handle on any of the other ones. And they seem to be pretty much the same, maybe universal, I don't know, as far as the fit. Everyone has fit, so um, but there's just some really cool designs. This one I just got, and I thought it was so appropriate, and you might not be able to tell, but I'm going to stamp with this one today. This is a little bunny head, and I thought this was perfect for going down the rabbit hole on something new. Um, okay, so you get your stamps. They're, like I said, either in one or two parts with the handle or with not. Um, and just screw them on. And let's see, then you have your wax. There's all kinds of different uh, kits or, assortments of wax that you can purchase. You can buy just about any of these colors individually. You get a pretty big package of those, or you can just get a smaller amount and a bigger color variety. And I would say this is probably a great size to start off with to see if you like it, number one. Uh, and, two, if you really enjoy it and you want to go for particular colors, then you can just buy the individual colors in bulk. All right, so there's that. I'm also going to show working with a hot glue gun. And my glue gun is kind of old and crusty, but I can use these white glue sticks in here. I'll show you how to do that too. And I'm getting ahead of myself again, as usual. As far as I know, there's two methods that you can do to achieve, your stamps. And one is this little, they call it a furnace, but it's not a furnace. It's just a little wax warmer, and it has a votive candle inside that you can switch out as soon as these burn down. They last a pretty good while, though. And then they have these little spoons. And I'll explain all of this stuff as I go along. And in the handout, not in the handout, in the resources, I will explain a few things too. This particular warmer, I really like it, but it comes with a smaller, deeper spoon, and I really prefer the wider, flatter spoon, only because the wider, flatter one is easier to clean than the deeper one to get the wax out, because there's always some excess wax and you have to wipe them out like with paper towels, which is not a big deal, but it's just easier to get inside with the paper towels in the flatter, wider spoon. So you can buy these. I got these as a 3-pack, and that was fine because Max will be using them too. And if we really get into a lot of production, you know, it's handy to have a couple extra around so you don't have to clean them out quite so often. All right, so there's that. So with this type of arrangement, you would use the wax beads, okay? Or you could use the glue gun, and they sell wax rods. This happens to be glue, like I said a couple minutes ago, but they sell the wax, the sealing wax, in tubes this size also. So you could go either or. I just happen to have the glue gun, so and I had the white glue sticks already, so I wanted to try that because I thought maybe if you're doing larger projects, maybe the glue sticks would be more economical in the long run. I don't really know. I haven't been doing it long enough to really make that comparison, but it's an option. And I'm going to use both of them in the demo so you can see how they're done. Okay. Then there is embellishing the stamps or the seals once they're done. And that can be done with these, well, they're, what would we call them? They're metallic stamps, and it would kind of gild them, you know, in a way. But I'll show you some of my completed ones. And then you can see maybe a little closer, hopefully. I'm not sure if I can get in here quite right at the right angle. But having this little gilding on here really makes them look cute. I love all of these actually, but I really love this bee. I think this bee is really a nice design. It's got a lot of nice detail in it, and it would look good either with the gold or silver gilding on there. And then this one I just got yesterday. This is a little forest scene. It's like a winter forest with a little deer in there and trees and the moon. I thought that was really awesome. But these would be really cute on Christmas packages or gift tags on packages. And then I've got an acorn and some flowers. I love the sunflower. And these little mushroomy guys. I thought those were really cute as well. So those are just a few of the ones that I've done. And also you can put pressed flowers, dried flowers in here. And to do that, to use the pressed flowers, you should have a flat stamp, no design on it, just a flat surface. And I'll show you how that works too. So that's another option. Another thought is to put them on the rub-ons that I had shown, I don't know, several months back, doing these little rub-ons, and I thought putting a little stamped seal on there was kind of a nice embellishment. And then here again on a tag, you could put that on a gift tag as well. If you had, like I said, a monogram stamp, that would be nice too. Also on envelopes, you can put a ribbon behind and stamp. And then this one is a little rub-on a stamp. So there's lots of different options. It's just whatever you come up with. But we'll try something of every one of these ideas just so you get the whole picture. Then there are also some of the kits that they sell come with double side, double stick little tabs that you can put on the back of your seals, and they would just stick with adhesive on there, and you can apply these. You pull that top layer off, and then you can apply these to different things that maybe you wouldn't want to melt the actual wax on. If you wanted to put it in a book, in a journal, something like that, you can attach it that way. Okay, this little snowman's real cute too, if you can see him. So that's another thing that they have available. And I work on a silicone sheet. I also purchased this little silicone sheet that's got the wells in it here, little holes in here that you can pour your sealing wax directly in the holes. I'm kind of on the fence whether that's the best idea or not, but it works. But either way, you can do it either on a plain silicone sheet or this way. And what else? Okay, as going back to embellishments again, like I had said, this is Deco Color premium ink, whatever, metallic. This is a silver and then in gold. I'll have links to these on Amazon where you can get them. These are also great if you do the resin coasters, because you can outline the edges of the resin coasters, and that gives it a really nice look as well. So that's multi-purpose stuff. And then there are these rub-on creams that are metallic. You can just rub them on with your finger or with the applicator, like the applicators. Of course, I don't have one right here. I should have had one, but like an eyeshadow applicator, you can put it on with that, or you could put it on, like I said, with your finger. But I would advise putting on a latex glove or something, because it does stain your fingers a bit. So you might want to avoid that. But these metallic creams, I've had this one for years, and it was kind of hard, and I wanted to reconstitute it. So my friend told me to get some glycerin and put a couple of drops of glycerin on each of the colors, and that really does help. It kind of made them softened again and usable. Then there are also the Rub and Buff. These are little I've had these forever too. 3 different colors: silver, gold, and kind of a reddish cream. And these you can put on with your finger again. But when you use these after they're dry, then you need to have a piece of fabric, like an old cut up t-shirt, and then you buff them to a nice sheen. Okay, so that's another option for embellishment. Okay, so then I cut out a few of the rub-ons that I had, because I wanted to do one like that. And then I also have a few little pieces of dried flowers here that I'd like to put in another one, just for your, just so you can see what I'm doing here. So I've got a supply list. You should probably have a pair of tweezers if you're going to be picking up little things, a pair of scissors. Also, you should have some ventilation in the respect that maybe like a fan, a ceiling, or a fan blowing. Well, I'll put it this way. In my studio where I work, I have a smoke alarm. If I have anything that creates smoke, or, well, mostly smoke, it sets it off. So when I know I'm going to do something that's going to create a lot of smoke, I always point a fan an oscillating fan towards the smoke alarm. So that way I don't have the smoke alarm going off and scaring the bejesus out of everybody. So I do have to go turn that on. I forgot to turn that on. I don't think there was anything else, but what I'll do is you need the thing with these little warmers, there's lots of different kinds out there. This kind, which I like because it gives a lot of ventilation in here, a lot of air, so that the flame stays nice. There's also a lower, a little bit squattier. Nothing wrong with that either, but this one is easy to light to be able to get my lighter in there. And but they all do the same thing. They also have electric ones, but I didn't want another thing that I had to plug in. So I'm going to go ahead and light this, and then I'm going to go turn my fan on. And you can buy these bags of votive candles pretty inexpensively too. So I mean, you don't go through them that fast, but it's nice to have some extras on hand. All right. Turn on my fan, and then I'm going to plug in my my glue gun. So that we'll be ready to go with that. Okay. All right. Now, I also keep a few toothpicks around. These are handy if you're going to put a couple different colors in the spoon. And that way you can kind of give them a little bit of a swirl. Okay, now I just have to figure out what's the best way. Well, maybe just like this is okay to see it. All right, so I'm going to pick out my design. I think what I'll do the bee. And from what I've been reading, and watching on YouTube, some people recommend putting a little bowl with some ice in a baggie, or using a ice pack from the freezer, and then you keep your stamps on that in between uses to keep your stamps cool. Um, I don't think that that's much of a factor unless you're really going to be doing one after another. But what I did was I brought a steel bench block, a small one, on the table here, and I'm going to use it for two purposes. One's to kind of cool off the stamp, and I'm also going to be able to cool off the spoon in between uh, uses. So I'm going to put this on here. Now the B stamp is rather large. This is about an inch and just over an inch. It's bigger, maybe an inch and an eighth, something like that. So it's going to take more wax than one that's a little bit smaller. So we're going to heat up the spoon, and let's see what color I want to do. Maybe I'll put I'm going to put 6 of these little wax beads in here, because the bee is like I said, a larger stamp. That might be too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. And the reason being that you don't waste the extra wax. If you've melted too much, you can just pour it out, and when it's dry, you can pick it up and put it back and reuse it. The same way, if you make a stamp and you don't like it, say it's really cockeyed and it just didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out, you can remelt that too. Okay, Vicky says, I got the skinny little glue gun that's compatible with this wax sticks. Just tried it. Good. Yeah, I would imagine that they should have different sizes, but I would think that the wax sticks would be the mini ones, the skinny ones, as opposed to the thicker uh, glue sticks, just because it's for crafts. I had bought, I had ordered some clear wax sticks on Amazon last week, and I really wasn't paying attention. All I knew is I wanted long ones, and when I got the package, they were long, but they were also the wrong diameter. They were big. So luckily, my husband's glue gun is the larger size, so he's able to use those in his glue gun. So okay, all right. So this takes a minute or two to heat up, and it a little longer because I've got 6 in here rather than the usual 3 or 4. Like I said, it depends on the stamp. And one thing to note when you're doing this is um, let's see here. You want to do them on a flat surface on your silicone sheet, and when you're pouring, you want to pour very close to to where you're going to stamp. What I mean is not drip the spoon, like high up. You want to be low, low and slow, and uh, that you're more likely to stay in the round if you just kind of pour out your wax, kind of like um, not really intentionally uh, trying to make a round circle. It might be a little bit off. I don't know how to explain it. No, Deb, he doesn't craft, but there's sometimes that he uses wax sticks. I don't know why, or a glue gun. I don't know what his reasoning is, but I know that he has one, so I never really asked why. All right. The other thing, too, when you're melting is try not to let it go so long that it starts bubbling. You want to catch it before it bubbles. Otherwise, you're going to get bubbles in your seal. Now, this is melted. I'm going to come straight down close to the mat and pour. And I've got my bee ready to go. If your wax doesn't seem like it's coming out fast enough, you can take a craft stick and kind of push it out with that. Okay. And then I just set that hot spoon on my bench block. And now I'm going to press. And actually not press. You're going to place the stamp on there and then just let it sit until it cools. Another tip is, say if you're doing well, I guess it really, if they're round, it doesn't matter too much. But if you want to make sure that your work is centered, uh, you can take a Sharpie marker and just mark where like in front of you, where you want that stamp to be positioned. Okay, so that's long enough for this. I'll put that on the bench block. And here's my wax seal. And it has very nice detail. It's not perfectly formed, but it's okay. And if this was the hot glue, that takes longer to dry than this wax does. So these are done very quickly. The glue takes a little longer. I'll do one in glue right now, as long as I'm talking about that. And I'm going to squeeze the glue gun. The thing that I don't like about a glue gun is that once they're in the chamber, the glue is in the chamber, uh, you can't really squeeze it out without pushing another glue stick through it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the B again and just center as best I can and then let it go. Okay. And that one will take just a little bit longer to do. So in the meantime, I'm going to clean out this spoon. So I'm just going to rewarm that a little bit. And get my paper towel. And then wipe that glue right out of it. And be careful because, you know, it gets hot, but it's totally manageable. Okay, so now we're ready for another one. And I'm going to check. This one's still a little bit not quite right. All right. I'm going to do a couple more shapes. Some of these other stamps. I'll do the sunflower. That's a really pretty one. The sunflower, I think I will use, just for the heck of it, some deep red. Now this is 4 little wax beads that I put in here. I'll let that melt. In the meantime, I'm going to pick this one up. I could have been over just a little bit more on this side, but that's still nice. Okay. So that's the B. We did 2 of the B. And okay, I'm ready with my sunflower. I love this forest one with the deer. There's like a mama and a baby deer and a couple of trees. You can see that very well. That's a really beautiful one, but it's large. I would really like to find smaller stamps, smaller than these even, smaller than a 1 inch, but I'm not really sure. I've done a few searches, but I really haven't come up with anything. So I'm still going to look around. All right, this wax is not quite ready, but almost. That's such a pretty color. Kind of a crimson red. And then we'll do a rub on and some flowers, dried flowers. And then I have to try this bunny. This is just too cute. I have another bunny and he's oval. So I have one already stamped that I will embellish. All right, so I've got my stamp here. And I'm going to pour low. Scrape out the extra wax that doesn't seem to want to move very quickly. But, you know, you don't have a ton of time. before your sealing wax starts to set. Okay. All right. I'll clean this out. Just make sure you protect your surfaces. Um, and, you know, it's always possible that you could knock over your wax warmer with the light, with it lit. So work in an area that can contain whatever wax might spill out from that little votive candle, because it can happen. All right. Then I have to try this little bunny. I just have to. This just came in the mail, so I was hoping that it would get here before the demo, and it did. All right. In the meantime, I could be warming up some wax. Okay. Get that going. And look how pretty that came out. This sunflower. That really came out nice. All right. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that wax to melt, I'm going to cut out um, a rub-on. And we did rub-ons, like I said, a few months ago. I want to say in the fall, actually, we did rub-ons. And if you haven't seen that, you can look back either in the group or in the YouTube video section of my channel, and you can find where I did the rub-on demo. And these are fun as well. These make nice tags. You could put them on earring cards, greeting cards, a lot of different things. I don't do a lot of mail, you know, handwrite notes or anything like that. But it's a nice thought, but I don't do that. So it's rare. So for the rub-on, I'm going to use a little piece of this linen that I've frayed because it looks cool. These are nice when you're scrapbooking or journaling. The rub-ons have a peel-off layer, a white layer on the back. You peel that off and place the sticker part where you want it, and then take a craft stick and rub that sticker all over so it sticks on the fabric real well. Do that. Get it ready for a wax seal. And the wax in the little spoon is almost ready for the other seal. Okay, so this is on, and I'm going to peel. There's a protective layer on the top that I peel off. And there I have my rub-on my fabric, which is really, it's a pretty design. So put that to the side and get ready for the bunny. Where did I put the bunny stamp? Okay, it's over here. All right. It appears to be all melted. I'm going to pour this down low. scrape out the extra wax that's in there. Oh, and I made a drip on the side. Hopefully that won't interfere. Okay. And I've got my bunny. And just place him in there. Just place it on. I'm not pressing, I'm just placing it on. Clean out this wax while that dries or hardens, whichever way you want to say. Okay, and then we're ready to go. Okay, while that dries, I'm going to pick out color. I think I'm going to go with purple for the wax, for the rub-on. Okay, but I haven't decided what stamp I'm going to use. Maybe this flower one. Okay. So I'll use the flower, or the flowers, I mean. This is a little bouquet of flowers right there. All right, and this one's done. And there's the little rabbit. He could be better. He could be better. So what I'm going to do is, when this one's done, well, actually, I can go ahead and do this because I have another spoon. Who could guess? So I want to remelt this one, and I'm just going to cut it up and put it in the little spoon. And then that'll be ready when this purple one is done. You with me so far? There's really not that much to this. It's just kind of putzing around and playing. But especially if you, I mean, this has nothing really to do with jewelry making, but it's mixed media. And I could see it being well loved for people that do journaling, uh, things like that, or make their own cards. That would have, I think, a big, I don't know, it'd be big fun, I think. All right, so now I'm going to, I've got my stamp ready, and I'm going to pour. This could either be great or it could be terrible. I don't know. This is where I would prefer to have a smaller stamp than what I have. I think that would be nicer on something like this. If you had an initial stamp, that would be neat. It kind of slides over a bit. All right. So go ahead and heat up that. Now there's a little bit left here in this purple, so I'm just going to scoop this out on the side, and then we can remelt that at a later date. But there's not that much waste with these if you save it. It's getting cool too fast. Well, that's a big mess. Okay. Now, I did my own little version initially with a silver plate spoon, an old spoon, and uh, put it over just a regular candle, a jarred candle. And that had a bigger flame, which is good and bad because you can burn stuff if the flame's too big. But it was a little quicker than this seems to be. Okay. Actually, heat that up just a bit to clean it up a little bit better. This the votive might be burning out a little bit because they're not very big. They have a short wick is another thing too. So all right, this cut up one should really seems like it should be already warm or melted. It's not quite there. And maybe that's where, like, if you really enjoyed doing this or whatever, maybe the electric one would be a better choice. I don't know. Uh, I'm not going to go that far into this exploration, but um, I've done a fair amount of homework, so you guys don't have to if you are interested in doing something like this. But I think primarily Max is going to get more use out of it than I would, but I think it's a fun thing to do uh, with kids. I really do. It's when I saw he told me while we were the first day that we were playing with this, he was just gushing. He gushed about 3 or 4 times about how much he really enjoyed doing this. So that's it's a good memorable experience with your kids or grandkids. Take that off, and there I've got my seal on my fabric on my rub-on. Okay, so that's that. And then I had done one also. I think I held this up before. I don't remember. On a note tag or on a little gift tag. I mean, and that's kind of neat too. So you can write on their name, person's name, or whatever, little something on there. All right, this seems like that's just about ready. And we'll try Mr. Bunny again. I might not have picked a good color for him to show up. All right, where's Mr. Bunny at? I amaze myself. Oh, here he is. It's like I have just this small amount of space that I'm working in, but I lose stuff. So go figure. All right, so I'm going to pour it. I think maybe I could have left that on there another 30 seconds. Yeah, I don't think I have enough wax either. Well, however he is for today. All right, so uh, I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to make one with glue and we'll do some dried flowers in that. Yeah, he's a fail. He's a fail as far as the size. I should have put 5 in here. All right, live and learn. But I'll move on to something else. I'll redo him later. I'm going to do a circle, a plain circle, so that we can put dried flowers in one. So get my glue gun back here. And find my, here's my flat circle, my flat surface. Okay, flat surface. And see, we've got a couple of bubbles in here. I don't know if the toothpick helps that or not, but I just dabbed them a little bit. All right, put that in here. Okay. Mr. Bunny, you're getting 3 done. Again. So if I wanted to do a couple of colors, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll take this gun. If I wanted to do a couple of colors, I would, let's see, I would put like 2 beads in on one side of the spoon and 2 beads on the other side of the spoon to melt. Okay, so this was the plain stamp, just flat, just plain. Now I'm going to oh, I got ahead of myself on that. This one I could still use for a rub on. That's, I'll do that one next. I'll do that now. So let's say we'll put this on a rub on in this. Okay, we can do that while this wax is melting here. Oops. So I'm peeling this backing paper off. I'm going to put the rub on there and use my craft stick to rub it on. Get all your surfaces. The glue gun is faster, I've got to say that, than warming this up in this manner. But they both have their own appeal. Okay, now I'm going to peel off the top layer, the protective layer of that. And so now you have a rub on like that. And you could just take one of those stickers if you wanted to do that, put that on the back, and then put that on an envelope like I did on this one. I just put a sticker on the back of that, and you could put this on the back of an envelope. Hi, Mary. Okay, so that's another one. This one. Now this one is the one that I'm going to swirl, but just lightly. I don't want to swirl it too crazy. because if you mix it too much, then you kind of muddle the color. So you can see I've got the purple and the green on here. And I'm just going to take a toothpick and swirl it just a bit. And then pour. Okay. And then I will place my stamp carefully on there. Hi, Wendy. All right. Like I said, this isn't going to be for everybody, but for those who like to journal and stuff, or if you have some event coming up where you need to send out invitations or something, you might want to consider doing something like that. Now, I'm going to wait for that one to dry, but in the meantime, I'm looking for flowers for this next one. And try to figure out a little arrangement. You can't get too crazy with it. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Probably could, I guess. But I don't want it to get real busy where you put too much on it, then you can't really distinguish what it was supposed to be. Oh, that was done already. All right. Well, this was not good color combining and short on wax. I should have had another bead in there for sure on there. But once I put some of that finish on there, it will look better. All right, so let's see. All right, so I'm going to do this one with wax again. I mean with glue gun. And squeeze some out. Oh, my hand's right in the way. Sorry. All right. Or where my other tweezers went. All right, so I'm going to lay that down. There they are, hiding over here. And I'll work faster than I'm working, Sue. Okay. Then take the flat stamp. Where did it go? There it is. So I've got the flat stamp. And that in there. All right. So while that's waiting to be finished, I'm going to show you some of this metallic pen on some of these designs. And I've got this bee. I think I'll do him in silver. Got the silver or the gold. And I'm just going to, now this is a chisel tip, and I think that that's a good size or shape of the pen for this. Some of the pens can be like just a nub and narrow, and maybe it wouldn't cover as easily so well. But I'm just painting over. Sometimes the ink comes out a little bit faster or more than you want, not necessarily faster, but more blobby, and uh, you want to kind of work over that with your pen to kind of so it doesn't pool, and it'll cover up the lines that that have that embossed look. And just kind of be careful that you don't get excess on areas that you don't want it. It takes a little bit of patience to take your time with some of this stuff. So that really makes that stand out. I really like that effect on there. So that bee, I'm going to do this sunflower with the silver. You kind of just glide it across and not press. I'm not pressing the pen because then it would really pool. The ink would pool and wouldn't look so hot. Okay, there's the sunflower. It's different, but kind of pretty. And oh, I wanted to try that other bunny that I had done previously. This was an oval stamp bunny. Let's see how this one turns out. This might not be so hot. But you know, you don't know till you play with this stuff. No, it looks good. Now, I know that it's a bunny, so I can see the bunny in there. If you don't know what that is, maybe it wouldn't look like a bunny to you. I don't know. There, I think so. Yeah, Deb, I haven't messed with the impression dyes yet, but that thought has crossed my mind that might be usable for some of these, some of the shallower dyes might work. I know that I have something for lamp working that you press into the hot glass. Um, and I've thought about it several different times before this demo, and each time, I mean, I forget about it. So I have to dig those up because that would be smaller in diameter also. Okay, here's the flower one. And that came out really nice. So with this, I think I would do an edging in the gold. You don't have to do it at all. You don't have to do any edging if you didn't want to, but that makes it look a little richer. And those flowers just get embedded in the hot wax, so you don't have to worry about them falling out. You have to prime these a little bit, these pens, if you haven't used them in a while. You just prime it a little bit and then it's good to go. There, that looks nice like that. The more I futz with it, the more likely I will mess it up. So sometimes it's better off leave well enough alone. But that's a nice one. And then, oh, I was going to do this little sunflower in the gold. Even though the wax is not formed as well as I would like it to be, just to show you another example. Okay, so there's that. All right. Oh, I was going to do the bee also with this. Yeah, that gold on the white really looks, uh, it looks fancy to me. There's little legs in there too. Could have taken a little bit more time with that. Let's just here a bit. This takes a few minutes to dry, the gilding on there. So just be careful not to smudge it up. Now I've tried to trim them, taking a pair of scissors to them, if they're a little bit irregular. I had no luck with that. So I don't recommend that. So that's pretty nice, actually. All right. So I think I've covered all of it. The only other thing I didn't try was the cream on here. Let me grab an applicator. I got this ginormous box of eyeshadow applicators. It didn't cost hardly anything. And you can go through these so quickly, goofing around with them. Okay. Hey, Suni. So let's get one that I didn't do. This mushrooms. This is probably the stuff you'd want to wear gloves with because it's messy. So I just got a little bit of that on the applicator. And this allows you to do different colors. You could, if you really wanted to take pains, you could do a bunch of different colors, colorize them really neatly. There are some people on YouTube that do some fabulous things with these stamps that, that's probably all that they do, and that's fine. And they get really good at it. But I've got too many other things that interest me to get into any one thing for too long. It's just how I am. Maybe I didn't pick a very good color for this. Doesn't look too. It doesn't look too interesting. But it's another example of what you can do. It probably could get concentrated on a little bit more. If I just dab it on. I just don't want to get it all over the background like I just did. And these take a little while to dry as well. So once you coat them, I would just put them to the side for a little while. It's still pretty. It's just different. I'm drawn to more of the metallics. If you had a fine point metallic, which I think I put in Max's box. Max's box. I got him one with his initial. I got him a letter stamp. He was just over the moon with it, with his initial stamp. But his also came with a thinner point, and maybe I guess I shouldn't do this stuff without testing it out first. I don't know. You could probably play around with it a little bit. There's different pens that you could use. So that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions on this? As far as the supplies or things? I mean, I tried to go through, I bought a variety of things and I thought, this is part of what I do is like I get stuff, don't necessarily know if it's going to be the right stuff or if I'm going to like it or if it's going to work or whatever. But then I can give you my opinion of what I feel about those things so that you don't have to waste money buying stuff if it's not going to be the right thing. So, that's just one of the things I do because I can't tell you how much I have wasted by experimenting. And if somebody had told me, well, you don't need this at all, then I wouldn't have spent my money doing it. But, you don't know. But it actually came out kind of cute. Maybe the colors of the flowers could be a little bit different, but this is what I had on hand. And excuse me, the dried flower, things like that. The edges aren't so good on this either, but you know, you try, you live and learn, and you experiment and you practice and you get better at stuff. So, but I absolutely love this forest scene, the sunflower, excuse me, and the bee. I just love them. I just think they're very cool. So, I didn't do too much with the envelopes themselves, but it's pretty cut and dry, as far as uh, putting a glob on there. I put a ribbon on the bottom first, underneath. That was a little tricky to hold on to the ribbon while I'm squeezing out the glue or the wax, and but it was able to be done. And uh, then I just put some of that silver rub-on cream paste on there. I love when we spend a couple of hours together and learn about new things. Thank you, Deb. I love doing this. I really do. Um, sometimes, sometimes things work out well, sometimes they don't. You've seen me when I flub up. Excuse me. But that's how you learn, you know. So we share our ideas, and I like this one a lot too. So what I'll do oh, and I didn't show you. I've got a pine cone with leaves. Put it that way. That's a kind of cool one. It's like as soon as you start looking at this stuff, you find something else. It's like, oh, that's a really cool shape, you know. And I wanted to say too, I had first bought a couple of stamps, just I don't know, two or three, like in the fall. I had seen something online about it, and I thought, well, I'm going to get this. And then, my dad was sicker and had a lot of problems, so I just kind of put that stuff on the back burner. Um, but I had seen some of these stamps, and I think there was a reference to Etsy where they got some. So I went on Etsy and I bought these three stamps, and they were way more money. I was like appalled when I saw how much these stamps were. And I thought, yeah, I don't know about this. But then, this last time, few weeks ago, when I got interested in actually finally doing this, I looked on Amazon and they were like way less money. So I would definitely look around and before you spend money. But um, there's lots of good ideas on Pinterest if you get into that at all, of ways that they use these things. So, like I said, it may not be for everybody, but you know, it's just another fun thing to do. So, all right, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do next time. I'm kind of running out of ideas. Maybe I'll do a project or something on maybe enameling. I haven't done any of that in a long time. Um, I don't know. If you guys have ideas, if it's something I can do, I'd be happy to show you, my take on it. Uh, but I don't know. I've covered a lot of stuff over the last couple of years. So paper beads, I've never done, Deb. I've never done them. I have no clue. I mean, I'd have to Google and look and stuff like that. But I'll research it and see. But I know nothing about it. So, and I don't want to buy any more stuff, man. you know, I'm getting like overloaded. It's craft central around here. So, but I'm at least glad that my grandson loves this stuff. And he keeps saying, I keep saying, well, the older I get, I'm probably going to start downsizing, get rid of this stuff. And he's like, no, don't, Grandma. I'll take it all. It's like, oh, okay. That would save me a lot of aggravation. So, anyway, all right. I'll see you guys in the group. I will put the handout that I have up in just a few minutes. I've got a bunch of Amazon links for some of the products if you're interested. And I think that's about it. And I need to go get a drink of water because I can't talk very long without getting raspy. All right. I'm glad that you guys were here with me. I always enjoy when you're here watching with me. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.